We have a forum here, personnel finance, for purpose of seeking a city administrator. The way the business may discuss is the search for administrator, and nothing about trees downtown, anything like that, not to decide, okay? What do we have, Lori?
Okay, so I went out on the league's website back in the middle of June, and you know they have job postings and everything out on the website, and there were 4 cities at that point in time that were looking for a city administrator. I went out and looked yesterday again, and there are 3 additional cities looking for an administrator. In addition to that, one of the things I passed around was this document from the city of Annandale, and we hear, and this is not uncommon when communities are looking to fill positions, they just send information out to all the cities to see if there's an interest or whatever. So back in March, I think it was, we received this packet from the city of Annandale. And what happened was the administrator in Annandale had retired or resigned, I guess it was. And they needed to search for an administrator, and they ended up hiring or contracting with a gentleman by the name of Bob Derus, who was a city administrator in St. Michael, I believe, as well. And so they contracted with him for 8 hours a day, or 8 hours a week. And then he was also a city administrator in St. Michael, I think it was, and he was actually resigning from that position, and they had hired another administrator that he was helping or kind of training in. So he was working part-time in St. Michael and then part-time in Annandale. And the city of Annandale, they said that situation worked out well for them. And then Bob actually helped the city of Annandale search for a new administrator. Helped him in that process. And Bob actually put this document together for the city, and then he helped them to seek an administrator. They, he sat in on the interviews, put the questions together, did the position profile and all that kind of stuff. They did hire a full-time administrator. They actually had to go through 2 rounds of hiring. The first round that they went through, the gentleman or the individual that they had selected turned down the offer. So they ended up going back, rewriting the job description a little bit, changing the work responsibilities, adding $10,000 to the salary, re-advertised, and then they did come up with a candidate that they hired. So it took them from, I think they said last December or so until May to fill that position. And then I also found out now that Bob is totally retired from his other position. So, he might be an option of someone, that we could utilize to do this. I also called the 4 cities that were, or 3 of the cities that had advertised for a position, and I can't find what I did with that right now.
Okay, you can look past it. I saw the yellow.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Okay, so, and Jerry and I did this together, and then we contacted these people. So the city of North Mankato was also looking for an administrator. Their administrator left on May 31st, and they appointed their city planner as an interim administrator. They actually have a hiring committee that's made up of 1 council person, a staff person, 2 citizens, and the city attorney. And they did hire an independent person to help with the process. They did not do it on their own. The first time around, they received 24 applications. The committee will reduce that to 12, and will interview those 12 and then recommend 3 to the full council for an interview. Of the 24 candidates that they have, they think they have about 8 viable candidates out of the 24 applications. So they have not filled their position yet, but they're working at it. That's what their process. when it's, the lady I talked to at North Mankato, she also indicated that Nicollet County is looking for an administrator or a county administrator, and they're having a difficult time filling that position. They've been through the process once and haven't hired anybody, and so whether they'll go through it a second time, I'm not sure. The other city we called was Scandia, and they are near the metro, right?
Yep.
They're a smaller city, population of about 5,000. Their administrator is retiring in October, so again, they have not filled that position. They're working at it right now. They have 59 applications, and they again have hired an outside firm to help them with their process. Okay. The other city that I called was Monoman. Monoman has been, this is their second, they're looking for an administrator. They're in their second go around. They received 10 to 12 applications is all they received. The first time they went around, I'm not sure how many applications they received. They did hire one of the individuals, but only as an interim, not as a full-time. And I don't really know, the gentleman was kind of hard to hear and just kind of difficult to figure out what he was thinking. So anyhow, he, they up there got 10 to 12 applications.
In Monoma.
In Monoman, yeah. And they did the search on their own. So the city of Pine City is also looking for an administrator. Theirs hasn't closed yet, so I didn't call them because they haven't closed. And city of Brainerd's looking, their city administrator retired. And the city of West St. Paul is also looking. Theirs just posted, so I know that the city of Brainerd is using Springstead as well to search for an administrator. And the other one on here is Indianola, Iowa, so if you want to go there.
Didn't we have Springstead as a consultant one time for it?
Yeah, years ago, you had Springstead before you had David Brown.
Yeah.
Just like that?
And they've diversed into, they do
Oh.
a lot of other things other than just financial. They help with searches, employment searches and stuff.
I have my doubts or suspicions about hiring somebody to search team. I don't know why, but with the school board, we did it twice. And the first time I would shove them all and try it again. But I don't know.
And is the school board using the search team?
Again,
It is.
Did they? Okay.
And, maybe if we go through this process, and again, it takes, in 3 of the 4 cases, I think they've had to advertise twice,
yeah.
Before they found somebody to fill it. In Norman's case, they haven't filled the position, even though they've advertised twice. Maybe having that interim part-time type person to help through that process, I think that's a good idea. I mean, you'll get somebody on board a little bit quicker, and they can help with that process. And, if it's 20 hours a week or, whatever, it will definitely help.
The same night when Bob Derus started at 8 hours a week initially.
Yeah.
It's-
Little history when they hired Tom Manley, personnel finance. The people who interviewed him from Pipestone was Mayor Joe Seller, Rich Carlson, and Jerry Ray. And I didn't know who the hell he was until he walked in the door. The rest of us didn't either. It was kind of a...
Well, in all of these cases, they've had a committee, made up of, like I said, 1 or 2 council people, and then others from the outside, the city attorney, public staff, different things.
Yeah.
But they just use that process to whittle down the applicants, to go through and whittle them down to a smaller group. And then the council, the full council, has then interviewed the top 3 candidates or, something of that nature.
I think we knew about 6 of them at Carlson.
I don't remember, I know there were quite a few.
Anyways, it is, Next, what do you have desire?
Well, I like the idea of getting a
Intern?
intern person in here, and
Yeah.
this way they can kind of help us out with, the possibility of how we're gonna structure and all that kind of stuff. They'd be more apt to kind of know
Yeah.
it.
Is that agreeable?
As long as we keep working on finding a permanent, we
Well,
just
yeah,
don't
yeah,
stall.
right, yeah. He'd have
And,
to
you
be
know-
gone tomorrow.
I can certainly call that Bob Derus, the gentleman that was in Annandale, and
Sure.
ask him. The concern would be, he resigned or retired June 30th, I think is what they said. I know under para, you have to have a separation of 30 days before you can go to work for another city and stuff for your retirement purposes. So I don't know if we can, contact them in that 30-day period, or if we, if we can't until August 1. In the meantime, we can certainly talk to the league and ask them if they have other individuals, or if they're aware of other individuals that do this kind of thing. And, I would assume you'd want a contract with the person, or,
Sure.
we can find out, rather than do an hourly rate, you can do an hourly rate, but it would be an independent contract versus an employee. And then that would be, the goal, would be for that person to kind of analyze or look at what we have, how we're set up here, and, make a recommendation for moving to the future, how we want to do that.
How's that sound?
Well, we'd want to meet him first.
Oh, absolutely.
And where was he
Absolutely.
from again?
He was from St. Michael, I think, but he was an interim administrator in Annandale.
Oh, this is one.
He helped out there, I think they said 8 hours a week, and then he helped them hire their administrator, and he put this document together as a part of that process.
What's his name?
Bob Derus, I think it's DERUS or DEREUS or something like that.
It would be nice to have more than one.
Well,
Yeah,
We should set whoever we can find to do a few
Yeah.
interviews that
Yeah.
we could bring here. And
maybe the gentleman from Brainerd, he resigned too June 30th,
See
so,
if you'd be interested.
that he's nice and close, so if he's.
resigned or retired?
He retired,
Retired.
yeah, he retired. So, he may have an
Sure.
interest too, and again, both of these gentlemen retired on June 30th, so there's that 30-day window, whether we can set something up to talk to them in August, or, if I have to wait till August to talk, or how they wanna do that, I'll have to check on that, but, and then again, we'll check with the league and see if they have other individuals that they're aware of that do this kind of thing.
That sound agreeable?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, July goes by fast anyway,
Yeah.
in spite of the heat.
And then, if we can set something up, we'll set something up
Sure.
for the first part of August right away, and, as soon as we can, and if there's other people that are interested that, the league is aware of, I can always contact you, or we can have another meeting, and,
Sure.
if we could do 1 or 2 in the end of July, and then if these 2 gentlemen have, maybe they don't even have an interest in doing it, but at least we can ask them and, see what they think.
All righty. Anything else we should cover?
with George Newman retiring,
Oh, yeah.
we accepted his resignation effective
August 31st.
It would be nice to post that position within the union if we want to go down that road, so we can get that moving. Depends where you want to go with that, but from the public works perspective, you need every guy you've got. We've got 30–40% more sewer lines and water lines than we did years ago, and roads. We've got fewer people than we did 20–30 years ago. And it's needed, but that's a council decision. If we want to post it within the union, we have to go through that musical
That's the
chair
first
game.
step.
First step,
And that's the first step. We want to do that.
Well, might as well start. Anything else?
Is there a choice not to post it through the, or,
No,
so I mean, you can't just hire someone who's not
No.
part of the union, so there isn't a choice.
right, it's a matter of filling it though. Your other choice is not do anything and not fill the position at all. That's your choice. If you are gonna post it, you have to go through the union, that's been negotiated and agreed to. So if we are gonna fill it, we have to post it within the unions first and go through that process.
What's the qualifications as far as driving vehicles,
Um,
not heavy equipment?
It's a class A or B with tanker endorsement, I believe, but we'll put that on the council agenda, I'm assuming if it's anything
Give
different,
it a 16 to authorize the posting.
then post it.
Okay, with that, we can close the meeting.
Slow.
That's heavy.